Hey guys, welcome to the MC Anime Podcast. We cover anime, geek culture, Japanese aesthetics, and Asian studies. We are a multi-fandom podcast, and you can expect to hear topics in your favorite hobby or fandom activity potentially. You can find MC Anime on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, please check out mcanimepodcast.com, our website. Furthermore, stay tuned in for another episode.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of MC Anime. I have a special guest with me today. How you doing today?
I'm good.
So introduce who you are and where they can find you and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Sarah Humphreys, and I am a teenage fantasy author. I am publishing a book called Stone Cold, and you can find me basically anywhere you can buy a book. You can find me on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Goodreads, and Instagram, Facebook, stuff like that.
Okay. So being a teenager, publishing a book, how was that kind of like impacting you to be an author?
Well, you get a lot of ideas from fantasy, and it's just something fun to watch and something fun to read. So.
Okay. Speaking of fantasy, we are actually going to discuss big fantasy genres of shows that you may have. Oh, there's an idea. I can use that idea in my fantasy type book setting. So what like 4 or 5 sources you had inspiration for the fantasy writing?
Well, a lot of fantasy shows in anime taught me about different magic systems. So I always thought that magic systems were like a certain group of people were born with innate abilities, but anime introduced me to a type of magic system like in Black Clover or Fullmetal Alchemist, where everyone has magic. Everyone can learn magic. It's just an ingrained part of their society. And I was able to use that sort of magic system, and it has a whole lot of cool world building opportunities.
Oh, interesting. So you were able to use a very unique magic system that will utilize their inherent ability to learn or just naturally be given magic?
It's been interesting. I always thought that magic was like something that only a few people are innately born with. But, Black Clover, Fairy Tail, Fullmetal Alchemist. In Fullmetal Alchemist, anyone can just learn alchemy.
Yeah.
And that's cool. People have to study for years and years, and it's just accessible to anyone. And I really like that. It was I have a new book that I based that off of.
Ooh, what's the new book about?
Well, okay, it's basically Black Clover. I stole everything from Black Clover.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's basically about this society where everyone can use magic, like channel magical energy from gods, a pantheon of gods, and if you can't use magic, it means that the gods have cursed you, and you're possessed by a demon, basically. That's what people think. And so the main character is the only person who can't use magic, and yeah, I stole that from Black Clover.
I mean, that's not the only show that doesn't have
but
those other criteria. But I guess the demon reference is well, you're also using the Pantheon of God, so it's kind of more different in a way. You're not exactly.
Okay, yeah.
You're doing your own thing with it, so that's what's good about inspiration. All these people in different movies, oh yeah, this scene inspired me to do this particular scene, or this idea made me blow up this entire movie and make it into this plot. So it's very common to seek out other properties that will give you influence, give you the inspiration or the ideas you need to generate in order to make the creative difference that you want to achieve in the property you want to make.
Yeah, I see that.
Another thing with, magic, like, what is a very unique magic system that you have in your books? Because I know the Pantheon's kind of new and all that stuff. What about the previous books? Was there like a specific magic system that you had to like spend a bunch of time defining what it is, where it comes from, all that stuff?
Yeah, I have this book where people can use soul magic, and you basically take this substance, like it's blood almost. I think it's the blood of creatures. Yeah. So you take this blood from these immortal creatures, and if you draw certain symbols, then you can interact with people's souls. Like you can take those souls out. You can talk to them. It's not really defined yet.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a work in progress kind of thing. The concept is really fun. I haven't really mapped out a lot of the boundaries yet, but that's a magic system that I love.
Okay. So one unique system about that, like there are so many ways you can interact with the soul on the astral plane kind of thing. Because let's say you sacrifice this specific animal to do the specific blood magic to, I don't know, summon a creature from another dimension. Let's just say that, and that creature is a soul, but it's a separate entity out of our plane of existence. So certain sacrifices, certain forbidden spells can be like put in, and then they're banned for specific reasons. You can go into that kind of thing, or you can also go on a journey like Mushi Mushi, for example. It's very good.
Yes. Yes, I've heard of that one.
Souls, and they have like all these different creatures that he's going around. Like he'd know exactly how to like treat them, get them out of the human life, not to impact the people around them. So that is a particular storyline you can take as well, is that those souls are around you, and this particular person with the blood magic can actually communicate or do different areas of interacting with the spirits, of knowing them and how to deal with them and how to make them coexist with humanity kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of Mushi Mushi when I brought that up?
Well, I haven't actually watched it. I've just heard of it, so.
Yeah, but like, what have you heard about that's like really intriguing?
Just the spirit thing. That's it. That's all I know. I don't know very much.
Yeah. It's a really good show. It bases around that supernatural fantasy type vibe. And it's really well done. It's like really bright animation and different colors of the spirits. You like feel like you're connected in the story, and him being the so-called spirit master of the civilization to help people out on a different journey. He gets paid to like move certain spirits from someone's house or diagnose what the supernatural is doing to the humans. The impact, like being around them, could endanger them in some capacity.
That's cool.
So another thing with fantasy that strikes a lot of chords is the shonen genre specifically has a lot.
Oh my gosh. That's mostly what I watched. I watched shonen.
You sure you don't watch shoujo? I thought you'd be watching shoujo.
No, No, I watch shonen. Here's the thing. In shoujo, the male characters in shoujo need help. They're not very good.
Oh, so
I like my male characters a lot more.
so you aspire to the males themselves, huh? The bond of friendship and all that stuff, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
I just like the fights and the male characters.
Okay. Throw a wrench in this. Let's explore Fairy Tail real quick. You familiar with Fairy Tail?
You made an episode about fire users and you talked about Natsu.
Yes.
So I was happy about that because I love Fairy Tail.
What about Fairy Tail that you think the fantasy aspect gives to the watchers or the readers?
Well, I really like that everyone has their own type of magic. Again, the world building thing where magic is easily accessible and woven into their society. And I like that everyone has different types of magic. And that leads to really cool fights. So.
Who's your favorite character? What's the character you connect with the most?
Natsu.
Oh, boy. So, you are a fan of Natsu. What about Natsu that's different than other main characters? Because there is main differences.
Okay, well, I know that he's a lot like most shonen protagonists in the sense that, he's dumb, he has a lot of power, he cares about his friends, stuff like that. But Natsu has one thing that I really, really like in fantasy, and that's dragons. I really love dragons. And I really like that Natsu kind of embodies the spirit of a dragon. In the sense that, he's really ferocious, he likes fighting, and he's just, upbeat all the time. And I really like that part of his personality.
So you're saying that Natsu as a character could be a metaphor for dragon persona?
Yeah.
He's like the personification of what a dragon could be. Even though,
I like that. Yeah.
Igneo and all that stuff being well, I don't know. Not a lot of characters are grown up and have a father figure as a dragon. First of all, that doesn't come up too often. I mean, the entire Dragon Slayers in the different generations. I feel like the first generation is more genuine than the second or the third generation. I feel like the second generation is just well, they got dragons, but what's the deal here? It's not, they're far connected from the dragon, and then the third generation is even further disconnected.
Yeah, it's so funny. I used that concept in the tournament arc. And yeah, it was the tournament arc. And Sting and Rogue were like, well, we're more superior than you are because we were taught by dragons and we have the crystals and we're so much better than you are. And I'm like, no, you're not. Natsu's genuine. He's first gen. Back away.
So you want to honor that pride that Natsu is the first generation dragon and no one can stop him, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I really like how the tournament arc, they have that filler episode where they actually explore more of the dragons in the timeline. They went back in time and actually saw the different dragons in the flashbacks. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Build up more of the appeal of the lore of the dragons more. And also, I think, establish a goal to warn Natsu about, the impending threat coming after that. I don't know, I think that was just kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, it's funny that in anime, everything's always shot to pieces after the tournament arc.
Yeah, I mean, not every anime has a tournament.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah, but
there's a trend where the tournament is a building stone or character development, and it's usually a character development for multiple characters. So that's what I also like about it too. Because it's not just the main character getting the development, it's everyone else. Like maybe even the main character's squad or posse. Or even the, sometimes even older villains, you get introduced to more development from them. It's really interesting because you can see the older characters coming back from previous shows into the tournament arc, and then they face off again, stuff like that. But I think one of the better tournament arcs that are actually out there is the Dark Saga tournament, the Dark tournament. Yu-Gi-Oh! Hakusho.
right. I haven't watched that, but everyone is like, "Oh my gosh, the Dark Tournament is so good."
Like they go into like really deep in the supernatural and demon background and different people with different powers. It's kind of interesting because that Dark tournament, everyone was just fighting and didn't really have a particular mode or what to do, to deactivate anything. It just felt genuine.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
So what's a particular fantasy aesthetic show when you were younger that you really loved?
Well, Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, yes. I remember Avatar: The Last Airbender. I watched it with my brother for the entire summer. I'll be watching every episode out of order because that's how the reruns just kept showing it. So I'll be watching the entire seasons out of order. It's like, okay, I already seen an episode. And I go through the episode guide to see if it's all episodes that I have watched or not watched. And then I put a reminder to let me know. It's like, okay, I'm going to watch this. And then at this time, I can watch this particular show when it comes on. So I get the reminder. So that's really interesting too. But what's your memory of Avatar?
Well, I watched it when I was like 8, elementary school, middle school, and then I kept rewatching it and rewatching it and rewatching it, and I think I've watched it 6 times.
6 times? Oh my. Well, I watched it a lot. I kind of gave my brother a birthday present of the DVD set, and he rewatched it all. Hello?
Hey, don't let Rollo out, the gate's open.
Okay. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. What's your thoughts?
Sorry.
What is your thoughts about Avatar? Like, what did it give you that you just loved so much about it?
Oh gosh, my headphones are killing the audio. Yeah, whenever I talk, it's echoing my voice.
You're fine.
Dang it. It's probably gonna pick up though.
So what?
This happened last time.
Like,
Oh damn. Okay.
because I know for me, when I liked the Avatar series, I had a bonding moment with my brother. We would watch it together in the living room on Nicktoons, and it just kept showing up on Nicktoons like every single day. And I have like a marathon of like 6 to 5 episodes at once. So you have like 3 to 4 hours to watch the entire series, or whatever they were showing at the time in the different chapters. How about, what is that aspect that you like?
Well, I actually watched the show all in one.
Yeah.
I watched it on Netflix.
You did? So you watched it on Netflix, and what else?
Well, I thought it was good. It was the thing that got me into anime in the first place, actually.
Oh, okay. So the anime aesthetic kind of got you into it by watching the show, right?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was anime-like until I watched Fullmetal Alchemist. I found Fullmetal Alchemist on Netflix, and I'm like, oh, I remember that from Avatar.
Well, yeah, that's kind of cool that you had watched that and enjoyed it, you know? Is there any other aesthetic of Avatar that, like, pushed you forward in the fantasy genre and your inspiration for anime?
Well, I liked bending a lot
Mm-hmm.
as a magic system. That got me into magic systems.
Oh, so I guess what, the Chinese martial art element bending kind of
Oh,
influenced you
yeah.
more?
I love bending as a magic system. It was the first more I thought, oh, this is how magic works in a fantasy world. So I kind of took inspiration from that, and then I tried to create other elemental magic systems, but none of them are as well written or consistent as bending. So I just kind of stopped.
Well, okay, well, if you wanted to do something that was, like, similar to Elemental, you could have, like, take inspiration from, like, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons. They have a lot of Elemental, like, lore dig into that fantasy building as well. You could have done something like that. Maybe look into, like, elemental spirits, maybe. That could have been a possible route. Because they exist.
Like Pokemon or something.
Yeah. Well, Pokemon's more like a fantasy adventure type thing. And what if animals would take different forms on the environment and inanimate objects and be alive? That's kind of like the aspect of, you know, Pokemon with pocket monsters.
Yeah. There is an elemental aspect to it, though.
Well, yeah, because they have different typings, though. Water psychic or ground grass and all that stuff.
I haven't watched Pokemon in a while. So.
Yeah, it's undergone a lot of changes, and, you know, they have nerfed some, you know, like Mega Evolution, Power move, Z moves, and then some gigantic form of Pokemon, Gigantamax. It's kind of, it's turned into a different property altogether. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and the animation style is different now in the anime.
Yeah, they kind of took a big step in the animation style after Alola, which is kind of interesting to me. And I think Alola's like the only main series league that he won with the Elite Four and stuff. I think he beat all the gyms and beat the island. So that's the main canon except for Orange Island arc. Battle Frontier. I don't know. What's the whimsical world of Harry Potter? What does that influence you with?
Harry Potter? I hate Harry Potter.
Why? What do you have against Harry Potter?
Because I have two friends that are total Harry Potter nerds.
So what? Them being Potters just
I
messed up your vibe with the show?
Maybe I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Guilty by association, I see.
I like the world building.
It's just too slow to build up. What I know one particular fantasy, Isekai. What's your favorite Isekai anime?
Oh, Isekai. Oh my gosh. No. Oh
really, really bad ones and some really, really good ones. It's such a startling difference. It's so funny.
Well, what have you watched this far?
Okay, well, my favorite is That Time I Got Reincarnated in This One.
You like that?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of cool that you have that to like. So that time you got reincarnated as a slime, what do you like about it?
I really like that they build a kingdom from scratch. That's cool. It's like Dr. Stone or something.
Yeah. That is kind of cool to have that, like, likability factor with it. I don't know, I think I really like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, because it's like an isekai classic that was never that just took off in popularity for me. Also, I don't know, you never really think that you being reincarnated as a slime would be such a powerful thing. Like, the apex predator ability is, like, off the charts. It's one of those things, like, why is this a thing?
It's funny.
I mean, it's funny, but, like, sometimes I feel like it's like, too powerful. Sometimes I feel like it's too powerful, I don't know.
What isekai do you like?
Log Horizon is a really good isekai show. Did you like Log Horizon?
Yes, I like Log Horizon, but, okay, I'm saying it. I like Sword Art Online better than Log Horizon.
What? You taking that step? Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you have to defend this one because I can't help you here. Go ahead. Say why so SAO is better than Log Horizon. I want to hear it.
I know, people would kill me for saying that.
What about it that you like?
Okay, well, actually, I have a disclaimer for that. I really like the movie. The new Sword Art Online movie that came out. I like Sword Art Online, like, for the fights and for the animation, but the movie just did that, but good character writing.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you account for the movie, I like it better than Log Horizon.
So is the movie, is that like that extra 1% to get like 51% majority to like it more than Log Horizon? The movie? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, you might have a point there. But, I don't know. I mean, they both die into, like, the game aesthetic. I feel like Log Horizon could have been better if they had more seasons. But I think the world building in Log Horizon was, like, more concrete. Because the main character would actually, instead of just being overly powerful all the time, he was very strategic. So he would build up his guild, and actually that guild would be the support of other guilds and build the alliances to make it better for the people involved in the Log Horizon trapped in the game.
Okay, fine. I'll admit that, yes, the game aspect is better in Log Horizon.
But, you know, with I think the original SAO is a really good season. When you stray away from the other season, it gets, like, less concrete, you know?
Yeah.
I think the original season of SAO was really good because of the 100 floors, and that was like a totally new concept, and like they really introduced the dungeon boss and raid parties. They really capitalized on that aesthetic really more. The multiplayer being trapped, now how to defend. And then it gets also pretty grim. It's like, yeah, this is the level, you know, in the plot where there's so many people going for this, and yet you knew that and you didn't help us, kind of aspect too. You knew how to beat this because you were in the beta version, but you didn't help us. And you're just helping us now. He had earned a lot of people's trust because of that.
Yeah.
And also, two-sword style, I love dual-wielding sword users. That kind of just, syndicates what SAO is. People think of Kado and just having the two-sword style.
Okay, you say you like dual-wielders, but are there any other dual-wielders? I can't think of any off the top of my head.
There's plenty of dual-wielders, actually. For example, you have Zoro, the three-sword style from Luffy, or One Piece. I mean, there's plenty of people that use multiple swords. And there's, different iconic people that use those swords. I know, Samurai Champloo, there's a bunch of sword wielders there. So, when you go into, sword shows that wielding on those swords, then you can find that wielding two swords is actually very common.
Okay, well, now that I'm thinking Inosuke from Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And then Hayakimaru from Doro. And, I've been thinking of those.
Yeah. It's not, it's not uncommon because I know what Japanese society, they did have two people wield two swords. But usually, the swords that are usually two swords are shorter, but have more agility when you swing it. And they're also sharper as well.
Yeah.
Because they're usually shorter swords. They're not like the big broadsword that takes one giant swing. That we see a lot. That heavy sword and then someone else picks it up. It's like, how you lift this thing? So what is a particular fight? Is there a particular, magical fight or fantasy fight that just really influenced you in your writing?
Oh, let's see. I really liked the fights in Fullmetal Alchemist.
Ooh.
A lot. I like the fight between Edward and Greed in Brotherhood.
Oh, okay. So you're the Brotherhood fan instead of the original FMA. I see how it is.
Well, I watched the original too.
True. I don't know. I think the homunculi in Brotherhood were better than what we had in the original FMA. Because that storyline seemed more genuine. It actually was thought out more because it's based on the manga more too. So that's probably why Brotherhood was better, because of the changes in the manga and how it influenced people to gravitate more to the original adaptation of the manga. I don't know. Speaking about homunculi, what's your favorite character that just lives forever?
Like, favorite immortal character?
Yeah.
Have you watched 2 Year Eternity?
What's the show?
2 Year Eternity.
2 Year Eternity. I'm not sure I have. Please enlighten me.
Well, it's a show about an immortal character who basically takes the form of whatever creatures he comes across, and the story is basically him learning how to be human, and he's my favorite immortal character.
Okay. So he's trying to reach to be human, even though he's immortal. So what, did he lose his humanity by living all these past other humans?
Well, so he starts off as like a shapeless orb, like he's like an object, and then he turns into a dog, and then turns into a human, and then another human. So basically the arcs are just him learning how to be human and being conscious and learning how to live.
Wait a second, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I read up on that. It's like the orb takes different shapes and eventually learns to be human to the different interactions of being human. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about. It's kind of cool that you bring that up. So, I don't know, I guess a immortal character for me, I don't know. I'm kind of pretty dead set on Hellsing. You know what Hellsing is?
Yeah, I know what Hellsing is.
Have you watched it?
I have watched 2 episodes.
You watched 2 episodes and that's it?
Yeah, but I know a lot about it.
Oh, okay.
So
So yeah, I think, you know...
I would know what you are talking about.
Yeah, I think, you know, the vampire aesthetic with the supernatural twist is kind of interesting.
I love vampires so much.
I mean, vampire stuff for me kind of hit home because it's like they're really done in a way that captures that aesthetic of what they are and what they represent. And, you know, Hellsing, it's more interesting because of maybe the MA rating, you know, being like the plot focus and violent and gore a little bit. Not like over the top, but like just enough to have that like horror theme vibe to me, you know? It has like that interesting plot development that just is enough to stick you to the entire franchise. And then also Hellsing Ultimate and all that stuff too.
Yeah, the Brotherhood treatment.
I think it's just another season. I don't think it was like a sequel. I think it was just a continuation of the original Hellsing.
I can't remember.
There's also another vampire anime I watched recently. It was a Webtoons original from Crunchyroll, Noblesse.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that one too.
Noblesse is really great because it takes a totally different theme of what vampire is. Because the Noblesse are like the nobles that have lived forever. In this particular one, I believe his origin is Dracula? And he like lives secluded from everyone else, but he's like super powerful. So that's kind of interesting to me. And, you know, like, they don't call them vampires, they call them nobles, or noblesse. So it's like kind of, and then he also has Frankenstein. He has the original Frankenstein as a butler. Isn't that funny? Like, I don't know. It's like, oh, it's Frankenstein, and Frankenstein's super strong, and he's just a servant to the noblesse. It's like, what is this? Like, he gave him the servant because he was actually lonely, and Frankenstein was like, had a vendetta against the nobles, so he'd be killing all the nobles, and he was giving to this noble to like give him comfort, and then by the end of it, they did like a really strong relationship as a butler and servant. It's...
Okay, now you're getting me thinking about Black Butler.
I love Black Butler. What are you talking about?
This concludes another episode of MC Anime Podcast. MC Anime Podcast is available on podcast directories like Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. We also have our website at mcanimepodcast.com. If you want to directly support us, then follow Patreon blog MC Anime. Finally, if you want services for hire, then we're available on Fiverr for audio and video production, graphic design, idea consulting, and blog and article writing.